Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be a new makeup release video, so I'm going to go over recent launches and just talk about whether or not I plan on picking them up, my thoughts on the collection, if they even grabbed my attention. So if that sounds good to you, make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't yet. I would love it if you stuck around. But with all that, let's just get started talking about these releases. All right, so as always, I'll have all the Instagram pages that I'm pulling these from listed down below in the description box, as well as all the makeup that I'm wearing today. It seems like we're in like a very in-between stage of makeup releases right now. Some things have already launched that I haven't talked about, and then some things we just have sneak peeks of. There's nothing really releasing in the near future. So I think first, usually I like to just start with things that were sneak peeked in my last video that I didn't get to show the full reveal for and just talk about my thoughts on them. So the first thing that I have, the only thing that I have that was a sneak peek, is the What's Up Beauty Dragon Eye collection. I saw the front of this, and to be honest, I think like everyone else, I was expecting a completely different palette. This launched on November 17th. It's $45 and I love it. I absolutely plan on picking this up. The inside just doesn't match the outside. That's really my only complaint, but I have some What's Up Beauty palettes already. I really love the formula. These shimmers look amazing. This is just like a really basic palette with some special shimmers, and I'm here for it. Like, I want basic mattes to go with just indie shadows. So I'm really excited for this to come. I can't wait to try it out. Of course, a video will be coming. And if there's any products here that I'm talking about today that you'd like to see a video on, let me know down below in the comments, just so I know what to prioritize. But that was the only sneak peek that we had my last video. And now I think we're gonna talk about things that have already released, and then we'll kind of go into these sneak peeks at the end of the video. So sticking with indie, Lethal Beauty launched a palette, Lethal Cosmetics, excuse me, launched a palette for Black Friday. This is the Midnight Serenade palette. And this is a lot different than a lot of Lethal palettes that I've seen in the past. I do have some Lethal palettes and I quite like them. I actually really like Lethal more for their mattes rather than their shimmers. Their shimmers I find can be a little bit textured, a little bit crumbly. If you like a smooth shimmer, these aren't the best for that. However, I actually really like this palette. I like the front of it. It seems, I don't know, I'm kind of confused. They're releasing this little magnetic pen to be able to take shadows out easier. I already have one of those, so I don't need it, but I'm a little confused on if these pans are removable or not, because it doesn't look like they are. And when I looked in the comments, I didn't see anything about that as well. They're also coming out with some mascara for $13.50. The palette did already come out. It's $45, which I don't think is too bad. It's 15 shades, 7 metallics, 8 mattes, so about half and half split. And I like the tones. I really like this. There's like this dusky green shade that reminds me of a shade in the Cosmic Brushes Muse palette that I really enjoyed. So I think that this might be another one that I pick up. We'll just have to wait and see, but I am excited for this, and I'm kind of excited to see the direction that Lethal Cosmetics goes to. Now, the next palette that we have that's launched, this is also confusing to me. So Gloss Gods is coming out with, I believe, an extension of a past collection that was sold out, if that's what I'm understanding. So they came out with this First Gal collection, and there were 2 palettes, and now they're coming out with 2 more palettes, part of that collection, and re-releasing the 2 other ones because they were sold out. However, from the post, it's unclear to me which ones are the new ones and which ones are the old ones, unless you're a really big fan of Gloss Gods. So These 4 palettes look beautiful. There's only one that's just not my style. If you are subscribed to me, you probably know it is the bright red one. So that one I'm just not interested in. And I am interested in at least this cool tone brown color. Looks really pretty. I last year for holiday picked up the Smoke and Mirror palette from Gloss Gods. I really liked that palette, and I picked up 2 other ones from them at the same time. So this Jupiter palette kind of reminds me of the Smoke and Mirrors, but leaning more brown taupe, still with that cool tone vibe. And Gloss Gods has amazing shimmers. If you've never tried them, I highly recommend them. This blue palette looks like it has all special shades. I contemplated getting this one. However, I just don't think I'd get the use out of it that I would want to. I prefer more of the pinky berry tones. So I think that I'm gonna pick up the berry tone one as well as the Jupiter. I don't know the different names of them. So again, you can probably expect a video on those 2 palettes, and I might do some comparisons to Smoke and Mirrors just for funsies. You'll have to let me know if Gloss Gods intrigues you as a brand, because I actually think they're pretty underrated. They are based in Sweden, I believe, and they have really good formula. I think that they're pretty well priced for what you get out of their palettes. So I'm excited for this collection. It is already launched, and I believe I paid 40 euros. And I'm not sure what that correlates to in US dollars, but of course I'll have it linked down below. Now, just getting indie out of the way, this palette also launched on Black Friday, and this is $39 from Give Me Glow Cosmetics, and this is the Mystical Garden. I really love Give Me Glow. Usually for like the past 5 or 6 years, I always make a purchase for Black Friday. And this year I decided not to. I was very, very close to picking up this palette. However, I decided that I wouldn't get use out of the blue quad, going back to Gloss Gods and that blue palette. So I decided for only using 2/3 of the palette, it just wasn't worth it for me. $39 I don't think is a bad price point. I like Give Me Glow's formula. I really like that they're going down to smaller pans. I think that was a great move on their part. And this might be something like in the future I pick up if it was on sale. I do like the color story. However, it's just been like palette overload these past few months. I'm just getting to the point where I have too much and only 2 eyes. So this one just didn't make the cut, unfortunately. However, I do think it's pretty, and I did teeter on it a little bit on whether or not I wanted to pick it up. And I think, no, we have a few more indie things. I thought I only had one more. We have a few. There's a few indie releases here. So Pastel Roses UK, they came out with a palette. This is 15 colorful pressed shadows, and this is the Heavenland palette. 8 mattes and 7 shimmer or duochromes. It is $47.67 available now. And Pastel Roses has been on my list for a while to try. I really want to try their shimmers. I've heard they're really good. They're duochromes, multichromes, etc. But I don't know, this palette's still not speaking to me. I'm just waiting for one that really grabs my attention, and this one's not it. It's close, like 40%. I'd rather get the Give Me Glow one over this one. So unfortunately, I think I'm gonna pass, but it is a brand that I want to keep my eyes on. Another brand that I have my eyes on that I just haven't pulled the trigger yet on is Shroud Cosmetics. And they came out with their Dark Academia palette. I don't have a price on this, but it launched November 20th, so it's out now. This was one, like the Give Me Glow, I almost pulled the trigger on. I was actually closer to purchasing this one than the Give Me Glow, but again, it just didn't make the cut. I like the 9-pan. I like the size of it. I like the special shades look really impactful. I haven't tried their formula. Like I said, this is a brand that's on my list to try. So if you've tried their formula and it's really great, let me know and I might prioritize them higher. Right now I have them maybe above Pastel Roses. I think so. I think I would buy this palette over that one as well, just Pastel Roses in general. But I do really like this palette. I'm a little sad that I had to skip out on it. However, again, like just so many palettes, there were some tough decisions that just had to be made at the end of the day. And then officially the last indie palette that I have to talk about, I'm pretty sure this is considered indie, is the P. Louise palette in collaboration with Micka. I have been trying to think about what I want to say about this palette all day yesterday, all day today when I was getting ready for this video. So I've mentioned this before, I don't really watch TikTok. I only have so many spoons to dedicate towards all these platforms, and majority of them go to YouTube. So I'm kind of just an all or nothing person, and I stick to what I know. So TikTok just isn't on my radar right now, meaning I don't really watch Micka's content. I know like the controversies surrounding her, I know of her, but other than that, that's it. This palette is ginormous. I mean, I can't even, how many shades is this? 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 50 shades, right? 5 times 10 is 50. It's about like a half neutral, half blue winter wonderland kind of vibes. This is just not for me. This is available now. It came out November 20th. And this is the To Have and To Hold palette because she just got married. I don't have a price on this either. I don't know the price of this. However, this is just a pass for me. I just can't. The collaborator is not someone that I'm like super on board with. This palette's just way too large for me. P. Louise palettes usually are. I've never tried their formula, so this is a pass, but I'd love to know your thoughts on this palette. I'm sure people are just completely split. I wish that she had come out with 2 palettes and just separated these. I think that would have been a little bit better of a marketing move, but what do I know? I don't have my own makeup brand, so those are just my thoughts. Let's now go to some mainstream launches before we go into the sneak peeks. So Chanel is showing their winter collection for 2024 already. This is launching in January in Japan. We don't have dates for Europe or the US yet, but this is the Le Beige Winter Glow collection. And it looks like there's going to be an eyeshadow palette, some lip products, 3 limited edition blushes, and then 2 nail polishes. I do have some Chanel polishes, but they're not really my favorite, not really worth the price point. I think you can get a lot better polishes from other brands, so I'm not interested in those. I do really want to try this Rouge Coco Balm collection from Chanel. I've never tried one of those, and I do think that would be something I'd really like more of a sheer balmy lipstick. Still not going to pick it up though. The eyeshadow palette is pretty, but nothing special. For some reason, I'm just like a little bit burnt out from Chanel, not completely, because I did pick up their highlighter for holiday. I'll link that video up above and in the description box. So I'm not like completely over them, but less and less is interesting to me from them, and I'm not mad at it because they are quite pricey. The blushes are pretty. I like the embossing, but that's about it. Like, I don't think it would stand out in my blush collection. So this is something that I'm going to pass on. Giorgio Armani, this is like big news, I think, personally. They're coming out with a new foundation. This is the Designer Glow Foundation, Radiant Revitalizing Foundation. Giorgio Armani is really well known for their Luminous Silk Foundation. I have that foundation. I love that foundation, and I'm interested on this. This is launching in Asia in December. We don't have dates for the US yet or prices, it looks like, but I don't know. I'm interested to see reviews on this. I don't think I'm gonna pick this up just based on the name right now, because I tend to like a more natural finish, and based on this Designer Glow, like I'm assuming this is going to be a very, very luminous foundation, and I don't wanna go any more glowy than the Luminous Silk. So I'm gonna wait, I'm gonna pause on this one, but I am very, very interested because I love the Giorgio Armani base products. The Power Fabric Concealer is really great. I think I heard that they discontinued it, but I did love it. If they didn't, I highly recommend that concealer as well. They have really nice base products. I'm not a huge fan of their Neo Nude foundation. In fact, I really didn't like that foundation at all. I reviewed that one. But this one, I don't know, we'll have to see. I'm gonna wait and see some reviews. I think there's going to be a lot. I think a lot of people are excited for this. And again, like going with bases, if we can follow any of the trends from 2023, I'm expecting January, February to just be foundation overload and concealer. So this is a concealer from Revlon. It's $13 and it's a reformulated version of their Color Stay Concealer. So this is the Color Stay Flex Wear Full Cover Concealer. It's supposed to be non-creasing, non-drying feel, 24-hour wear. Comes in 16 shades, available now. I am interested in this. However, I am like up to my eyeballs in concealer. I literally this past year got like 10 new concealers and then did a full roundup of concealers after testing them all out. I think there were 10 to 15. It's hard for me to remember. It'll be linked, of course. So I think I'm gonna pass on this. Revlon seems to be stepping up their game with complexion products. They just came out with their Illuminant Skin Tint. The Color Stay line, they seem to have reformulated and they're just remarketing. So I think they're really trying to focus on some of their core products and bring them back to life a little, because for a long time, Revlon was not the drugstore brand of choice, I think, for a lot of people. And I'm hearing more and more from them, and I think that's great. I think a lot of people will hopefully like this concealer. If you've tried it, let me know. It looks like it's supposed to be very full coverage, so I don't know about that too much. I do like a full coverage concealer. The dark circles are always showing for me, so if I needed one, like if I was traveling and forgot a concealer, I would probably pick this up. However, I like don't just need it in my collection right now. Moving on to the next thing is this Bobbi Brown collection. I feel like I saw this before, or it was like sneak peeked and now we're seeing it. So Bobbi Brown's collaborating with Powerpuff Girls. I don't know the correlation between that, why they chose Powerpuff Girls. To be honest, I don't think I've ever seen one episode of Powerpuff Girls. I've maybe seen like clips here and there, like flipping through channels as a kid, but I never sat down to watch it. I have 3 brothers, so this was not a show that they would want to watch, and I was typically outvoted as a child. So I don't have any pull towards this cartoon. Is this this animation? I don't know if it's a cartoon or anime or what it is. I don't know nothing about this show, and it just looks like the same products from Bobbi Brown, but with Powerpuff Girls on it. So I don't understand. This is exclusive to Selfridges, which also surprises me. I kind of was thinking that this would be an Asia exclusive brand because Bobbi Brown is very popular in Asia, at least in the Philippines. I lived in the Philippines for 2 years and I would see a lot of Bobbi Brown counters. So I know that they're fairly popular there. I'm just surprised that it's exclusive to Selfridges is all. There's a lot in this collection though. There's an eyeshadow palette, there's a highlighter, there's a pressed powder, luxe eyeshadows like Bobbi Brown's special eyeshadows, which are really great, lipsticks, cleansing oils. But I think that this is all stuff that Bobbi Brown already has in their lineup, so just not interested. I am curious to hear your thoughts on this. Were you into Powerpuff Girls when they were airing? Do they still air? No idea. And then this collection is probably the most disappointing product I'm going to talk about today. I'm actually semi-upset about this when I saw this. So this is from Makeup Revolution, and they're coming out with a Dancing Queen collection inspired by ABBA. I am actually a pretty big ABBA fan. I've seen Mamma Mia on Broadway. I love ABBA as a band. I tend to like older music, if you know me in person. So to see this collection, like, I have no words. I don't see ABBA in this at all. I don't see Dancing Queen in this at all. And I'm just confused on why they chose this. It seems like they just came out with a palette and they're like, let's stick a collaboration on it. What can we do? Who will allow us to collab with them? And they chose this. I don't know specifically, like, if someone was to ask me to create an ABBA collab, what I would come up with, but I do know that it's not this. And this could be so much better. So I'm gonna be passing on this. Honestly, I can't see anyone being interested in it for the collab aspect. Like, maybe they like the color story of the palette, but that's about it. Yeah, I was like a little bit angry when I saw this. And yeah, it does. It just makes me not happy. Like, I think it's supposed to be disco inspired. No, hate it. Just absolutely hate it. We have some K-Beauty products launching, and this looks really cute. This is from Etude House. They're coming out with the Play Color Eyes palette, a blush, it's available now, and then one of their fixing tints in Winter Strawberry. This is a line they already have, so they're just coming out with a new shade. I think this is really cute. I like Etude House, like I mentioned. Unfortunately, like, I just feel like when you have so much K-Beauty, it all starts to run together. I think I already have enough K-Beauty palettes to suffice because they are a little bit lighter in tone. They're meant to be softer. This eyeshadow palette I probably have from another K-Beauty brand in my collection, so I don't think that I'm gonna pick it up. It is really cute. I like the heart blush, but it's just not in the cards for me. There's just more things I think that are catching my eye other than this collection, but it is really cute and I like it a lot. And then the last K-Beauty brand I have is ImUnny, I think that's how you say it, is ImUnny collabing with Lipton Tea. I don't understand where brands are coming up with who to collab with. I want to just know the behind the scenes on how these collaborations end up and why. So this is supposed to be a skincare-based primer scented with Lipton tea flavors. There's milk tea, peach, and lemon. This is coming to Asia in December, not yet available in the US. As far as the product goes, I actually am interested in this because there have been a few primers like this that I've actually enjoyed. This is reminiscent to the Chanel Rosy Beige that came out with for like a blip in the universe that I really enjoyed. And it also looks like the Givenchy primer skincare hybrid type thing that was in a cushion compact that I also reviewed. I'll link that above. And I really enjoy that as well. It's kind of like a cushion balmy primer instead of in a typical pump. And I like that a lot. So this actually, once it releases, because it's not even close to releasing, we have some time, I might pick this up. Milk tea is supposed to control oils. Peach is supposed to even out complexion. Lemon is supposed to brighten skin. I don't know, I might pick it up. Not because of the collaboration, but because of the product. I've been liking products like this, so we'll see. I mean, I could just use the ones I already have. That's another story. Now, a few more things before we talk about sneak peeks. Tarte is coming out with a new foundation, and this is the Amazonian Clay Liquid Gem Foundation. $35.98 in 17 shades, and this is, I'm kind of confused because it's in a tub, but it has like a small opening. So I don't know if it has like a mesh opening kind of like a cushion, but not. You're supposed to use a brush. I can't tell from this. However, this is supposed to be full coverage. I used to, when I was younger, like 10 years ago, I really enjoyed Tarte foundations. I had a lot of different ones from them, and I still do. I think that they make nice foundation products, but I'm not interested in this, especially if it's advertised to be full coverage. Not something that I think will be for me. This again will be something like maybe I'll watch a few reviews and see if it gets any hype, but 17 shades, not that great. Tarte's not known for coming out with a really inclusive shade range. I don't know when they will learn their lesson, but people are buying it, and that's why they're coming out with it. It does say that it's available now, but a lot of the times with Tarte, they launch on QVC first, so it's kind of difficult to get your hands on before they actually launch in Ulta, etc. So I don't know. Again, this is like one I'm interested to hear other people's opinions on, if they're excited or not. But if last year was any indication of what foundations are going to look like launches in January, this is going to be bottom of the list for me. So I'm really not that interested in it. And now that brings us to sneak peeks, except that I missed one. Okay, last one, and then we'll talk about sneak peeks. I thought this was a sneak peek, but they did show the actual collection. And this is the Melt Cosmetics collab with Bailey Sarian. So this is, you can get the whole set for $175. It comes with an eyeshadow palette, 4 lipsticks, 2 gel liners, 2 glitter eye gels, a heart makeup bag, and then a liquid lipstick set. I am not interested in this, unfortunately. Melt just most of the time, 90% of the time, doesn't come out with color stories geared towards my preferences. This palette specifically is just too dark and grungy for me. Kind of really like those warm autumn tones. Not my favorite, so I'm gonna pass on this. As far as the collaborator, personally, I don't watch her. I don't have anything against her, know much about her, just like Michaela, but she's not someone that I watch on the regular or really watch any of her videos. So that's not pulling me. I only have the palette to go off of, and this is not my color story. So this is gonna be a pass. I do think that this was probably a smart collab. I know that Bailey Sarian's a pretty popular content creator, so I'm sure a lot of people are excited about this, just not me. And now the sneak peeks. Let's kind of just rush through them because I will probably talk about them in my next new makeup release video. So I don't want to linger too long, just talk about if I'm interested or not. And the first one that I have is another Glamlite launch. Are they going to stop? I don't think so. I feel like they're starting to become like ColourPop, and it's getting a little exhausting. They're collabing with Garfield. We'll see what this palette looks like, but honestly, like off the bat, not interested really at all. So those are my thoughts on that palette. We'll see. Garfield's cool. Like I love cats, but not really something I grew up watching. Shine by SD is collabing with Glamsmitty, a content creator on Instagram, I believe. This I am excited about. It is, what is this called? Mystic Dreams or something like that. I can't see the title of the palette, but Shine by SD, I bought their last collaboration with M. Jones and Bizarra Volta. Really like those shades. Shine by SD is a Canadian brand. They have spectacular, like the prettiest eyeshadows you've ever seen. So if these colors speak to me, I might pick this up. However, I just know it's going to be super, super pricey. I'm just excited to see what the inside looks like, and I'll make my decision then. Another one I'm excited about is from Micka Beauty Shop. This is a French brand, so kind of pulls at my heartstrings a little bit. And this is going to be the Earth Wizards palette. I'm excited for this too. So this is going to come out in December for pre-order. I have 2 palettes from Micka Cosmetics, the Serpent palette as well as the Forever Young palette. And I wanted to do a video on both of those palettes because I really like the formula on both. I've already tried them off camera. They're really nice solid formula. This is a pretty small indie shop. in comparison to other indie shops. So I might, we'll see. If I like this palette, I might just pick it up and then do a 3 looks, 3 palettes video, doing 9 looks with all the palettes, because I just like the 3s in there. It kind of makes sense to me rather than just the 2 palettes. So this one is definitely like top of the list as of right now before seeing the inside. Hopefully she has some of her special shades because her multi-chromes are really, really nice. And the rest of these I'm interested in, unfortunately. So Klarity Cosmetics, they launched their Komodo palette and their Anaconda palette. I talked about that in my last video. I was interested in those, but ultimately I decided not to pick them up. This one, however, is their Christmas palette, and this is Nightmare on Christmas. We only have the outside right now, and it seems like there was some kind of problem with their manufacturer, so they're launching this a little bit later than holiday time, but people wanted it anyways, so I kind of am excited for this palette. I'm interested to see what the inside looks like. A lot of the Klarity Cosmetics palettes, I really like the color story. It's just more of whether I'm realistically going to use it or not, which is ultimately why I decided not to get those other 2 palettes. So I'm waiting to see the inside of this, but this is one I'm definitely going to make sure and remember to go back and see the inside if I don't end up seeing it. And maybe the most exciting out of all of them, this is the last thing I have to talk about, we'll wrap up, is the sneak peek for the new Blend Buddy Cosmetics palette. This is the Machina palette, and really cute. Like, it was a collaboration with her dad who's since passed, and I think that that's really special. I haven't tried anything from Blend Buddy Cosmetics yet, and I've been waiting and waiting for the perfect palette. I actually did buy their cheek palette. I just haven't tried it yet. It's in my to be tried drawer. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that this palette is going to be the palette for me. I like the theming of it. I love that it's something special for her with her dad, and she played like a little voice clip of the voicemail her dad left her on this palette. I'm a sucker for like a cute story, so I'm really excited to see what this looks like. I think a lot of people are. I've only heard great things about the Blend Bunny formula, and none of the color stories have yet to really speak to me. So I'm just hoping that this is the one. But that's all that I have today. Again, let me know your thoughts down below in the comments, what you plan on picking up, what you plan on skipping, if there's any videos you'd like to see from me. I'm always interested to hear other people's opinions on new makeup releases because we all like different things, and it's just fun to converse with you all down below. So that's where I'm going to leave you all. I hope you're having a great one, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.